The crowd in good voice here in Oslo just before the start of the men's individual. These gents all camping out in the woods around a huge great teepee, and I think there are about 15 of them in one tent and about 15 crates of beer the other side of the tent. They are having a very good time at these championships, but they'd love to see a Norwegian victory today. But it's all been about Martin Fourcade so far in the men's races. So, Martin Fourcade looking to continue his run of success today. 3 out of 3 gold medals. He can make it 4 out of 4 today, but lots of records at stake. Here he is saying he never came to these World Championships planning a triple. He came here to win at least one title. That's what he wanted. And now his dreams are running away with himself. He says he wants to win more. Of course he wants to win more. He said he made his ambitions very clear to the King of Norway, King Harald, the other day. So there he is negotiating with the King, and remember, you only get to meet the King if you win. So both the King and Fourcade are confident that he will be back up those steps. But can the Norwegians disrupt him? What about Ole Einar Bjorndalen? Can he do it? He says normally he's under a lot of pressure at these races. He hasn't been the favourite for any of the races, but he had such a bad period in January that it just allowed him to step back from the World Cup and focus on himself and focus on preparing for the World Championships. And of course he already has 2 silvers to his name. Can Fourcade be beaten? He says of course he can. And he says if it's not me, it will be one of his colleagues. Johannes Tingesbo perhaps. Maybe one too many shoots for him, but he is quick. And if it's not Johannes Tinges, maybe Emil Hegler Svensson. It's not been a good season for him by any means, but he did get a bronze medal in the pursuit from 17th to 3rd. That is the sort of form he needs to win today. Everyone hungry for a little bit of precious metal here in Oslo. When he said the Germans haven't got any medals, of course he was referring to the German men, but they did get a silver in the mixed relay, so it's not quite as bad as that. But the Russians have not been on any podium so far, and that is perhaps the biggest surprise of the championships.
I think it is. They were close yesterday with Urlova trying to get a medal, having won the individual last year, but she missed her last shot, and that knocked her off the podium effectively.
2 minutes to go before the start. The men's individual coming up.
Hello, 1, 2, hello, 1, 2.
Right, how many? Let's get that Can we get it so we can get 4 on it or not? We want 4.
No, we can get 2 at best, I think. Yeah, we're on 2 at best. I think we have to do a bit more flicking about around than yesterday to look at ski time and on the track, etc.
But I mean, the trouble is we've got good people all over. Normally we have good people in one group.
Yeah.
So lots of looking back to the first shoot.
So first shoot, we'll probably just bounce around from shoot to shoot, yeah? Jimmy.
As you can see, just above the freezing point here in Oslo, it was down to about -2, -3 last night. Very, very thick mist first thing this morning. You could hardly see the car park from the hotel windows, and there was some concern as to whether the meteorologist had got it wrong, Mike. But as he said, it would clear around midday, and now the light is as good as we've seen so far. Here's the course. Of course, it's a 4-kilometre loop.
It's tough. Look how high up it goes. It goes up to the base and a little higher around the back of the ski jump. And there is a tolerance. You can set your 20k 800 shorter, 800 longer than 20 kilometres. And here they have it at 20.6 kilometres with a total climb of 797 metre in that total 20.6 kilometres. It is the biggest and steepest climb in the 20Ks this season, and in fact for the last 4 years.
So just around 800 vertical metres to climb. I'm sure you can think of a few hills that are just about that height. It's not far short of a Munro. Ben Leddy, for one, springs to mind just outside Callander. Imagine doing that and a 20-kilometre and shooting at the same time. These guys have got a tough day ahead of them, and it's going to be Tarjei Bo of Norway who gets the race underway, one of the favourites. Well, a very warm welcome to Oslo. If you've just joined us, the first starters just moving towards the starting gate now. Tarjei Bo ready to go for the host nation. Not an easy start number. We saw Anton Shapulin fail miserably in the sprint, having drawn bib number 1. Then again, Martin Fourcade wore bib number 1 in the pursuit. Didn't do him any harm. Slightly different situation.
It is, it's a different situation. And Tarjei Bo, he's been a champion in this event in the past, back in, 2011 in Antti-Sees. So he will have to manage his race in his own way. Doesn't care about split timings this first 4 kilometres. And then he'll get some advice on how his pace is compared to the rest.
And he'll have to, he'll be hungry, I think, Mike. 54th and 31st so far in the 2 individual events. So it's not been a good championships for Bo so far. Next to go is Pepe Femling of Sweden. The Swedish girls looking good in the first half of the race yesterday. I wonder whether the men can match that. 23-year-old Femling, and certainly got a couple of years before he reaches his best.
I think so. He's only been raced out at World Cup 6 times this season. I know he's been racing at the IBU Cup, but brought in for this big one, the big 20-kilometre.
Benedikt Doll for Germany, 11th in the World Cup standings. We have not seen masses of this man so far this season because he's not generally been up in the top 5, but he's been consistent, and that consistency might serve him well today. Actually, his worst results have come here in Oslo, so I don't know whether it's a little illness. Most of the athletes have been ill, but as we discussed in the last men's race, what we call ill and what they call ill is often a different matter.
I think the definition of ill sometimes is a sniffle, and it's not really that ill at all. Leif Norgren, the man from Lake Placid, they had a World Championships there, in 1987. He was 2-year-old then.
USA with Lowell Bailey and, of course, Tim Burke both racing. Burke has medalled in this event before, back in Nova Mesto. That was a great day. Lindstrom also getting a medal for Sweden on that occasion. Well, the Austrians, they'd like Landertinger to do well. They'd like Simon Eder to do well even more because he could win the individual Crystal Globe. Lucas Hoffer underway for Italy. Now the Italians reliant, totally reliant on Dorothy Vera at the moment to bring home medals. Lucas Hofer, 5 years ago, you would have put your money on him being right up in the top 5. But he's had a dire season, Mike. Do you think it's a symptom of doing too much last year, or do you think it's just he's got other distractions in life, or what?
Do you know, the regime, the tough regime of training, it comes in many forms, and like Sukup in the Czech team, he's just gone flat this year with a very similar training program, and I think Lucas Hofer has just had one of these bad years where he's gone very flat.
Lee Inbok from Korea, 31-year-old, and a disappointing 86th in the sprint event. It all went horribly wrong for him on the first shoot, missing 3 in the prone position. And just looking down the stats, we saw all the winners from the last 10 World Championships, Mike. 8 of them have hit 19 out of 20 to win. Only 1 of them has gone clear. That was Raphael Poiret, not in Oberhof when he won, but in, just trying to think where it was Antolz, wasn't it, in 2007. He hit all 20. And the only other person to win is Oleana Bjorndalen. He missed 3 out in Pyeongchang and took the title. It's
quite incredible, but when they're having those who are going to win this race, they're having to set the top 5 ski time as well. And with that comes risk when you're on the shooting range. They can't really afford to back off too much. And it is surprising to hear those statistics. Only once in the last 10 years, it's been the perfect 20 out of 20.
But fair to say that 19 or 20 required today to realistically stand a chance of winning.
I think so. And then you have, depending on what others do, you have about 6, 7 athletes, by my reckoning, who have got that ski speed in order to achieve that. But then you've got the Fourcade factor, which is a huge factor. Maybe he can miss 2 and still win.
Ostuntas for Turkey, about a start. Now, he shot clear in the sprint event, still finished down in 97th, so skiing is not his strong point, but he's been shooting well. And if he hits 20 in the individual today, then he could well find himself elevated up into the top 60.
Well, he was 111th last year in Finland in this event. It's good shooting, only missing 3, and I think he may shoot better today, so hopefully a top 80, top 70.
Yeah, and if he can just jump into the slipstream of the man starting 30 seconds behind him, he'll do himself very well. Dominik Landertinger is quick. He finished 5th in the Olympic Games back in 2014. And he's not had a bad season, lying 13th in the overall World Cup standings. I think he probably started the year thinking top 10 was possible, but he's running out of races. One more race after this here in Oslo, and then we go to Chianti-Manzese for the last 3 races of the season. The title is wrapped up already. Martin Fourcade over 300 points clear, so he's won 5 seasons in succession. His brother about to get underway, Simon Fourcade, who took the silver medal in Ruhpolding back in 2012. What a race that was. And on that occasion, finishing behind Jakob Fack. It was an unlikely podium. Fourcade has never won a World Cup or a major championship.
He's burst a ski pole.
Good drills from the French, but that's the worst possible start.
I thought he'd counted us out. He never has any luck, that lad.
The early starters just coming up to the first of the splits. Tarjei Bo started first, and he's the first to go through the timing wand as well. We don't know how well he's started. He's looking pretty strong on the skis. Nice to see a lot of the athletes, particularly the women, all out on the tracks first thing this morning, Mike. What encourages me is how slowly they ski when they're not racing.
Yeah, and I think you have to. The amount of races, 6 races in a 12-day period on your easy sessions, you really need to make it easy so your body recovers.
Teklenko for Ukraine, 23-year-old. All Black starting while we were away. Simon Fourcade, you saw him just getting underway, so we'll try and track his progress. First of the Germans, Benedikt Doll.
I think, well, Benedikt Doll, he's set in many of the races this season the top 4 ski times, and I just wonder how his form is. Well, he's certainly not going to be as fast as Tarjei Bo. maybe just an efficient start, an easy start getting into his race.
4.5 seconds at this stage of the race. 2.5 kilometres gone. Another 17.5 to go. A little bit messy on the skis, Mike.
Yeah, and his head moves around. That's his style of skiing, but we always see Benedikt Dahl with the head going left to right, and the experts would say that is using and wasting energy.
Dombrovski for Lithuania. He'll follow Michael Krishmar of the Czech Republic he'll go ahead of Krishmar, who's now preparing to go. Lots of Czechs here to support. Nice to see so many British fans here as well. Well done to you for making the journey. But those of you who haven't come to Oslo because you've been told how expensive everything is, just another reminder that there must be at least 1,000 spectators camping up in the woods around the ski tracks, having a tremendous time. And that is certainly the way to do it. Hofer up through 2.5, 3.4 seconds. That's a solid start, but it's really the shooting that's let him down so far this year.
That's a very strong start. On the other hand, Leif Norgren, I thought he'd be within 10 seconds. He's 23 seconds off the pace at 2.5.
Now, nice to see someone in the red bib and someone in the yellow bib. Normally, or in fact every other race we're going to have here, it will be Martin Fourcade wearing both. But Simon Eder leads the individual standings. He had a 7th in Östersund, the first individual of the year, and he had a 2nd place in Ruhpolding. It does get a bit confusing, Mike, calling this race the individual when the sprint is an individual race, the pursuit is an individual race. But when we say individual, we mean 20 kilometre, the big one. And interesting to see how Eder gets on.
It is, as Tarjei Bo comes in. Eder, I wonder if Alfred Eder, his father, spoke to him last night, because Alfred Eder took the bronze medal here, shooting the perfect score in 1986. I'm sure he will have reminded his son of that last night.
Any other father-son combinations you can tell us about who've won apart from yourself?
I know Dombrovski, who just set off recently. His father used to race, mostly for Russia, then for America.
Oh, high right from Tarjei Bo. That is expensive. Egil Hjelland doesn't like it. Falling plate targets here, they're mechanical as opposed to electric. And Simon Schempp actually alluding to the fact that that might be the reason he's having more problems in the prone. But you only have problems if you get split rounds, and generally you're offline.
I think what he's alluding to, and a lot of the athletes feel the same way, that when you've got these falling plate targets, they actually are, without a doubt, a little more difficult to go down than the electronic targets. Supposed not to be, but I do believe that's the case.
So 10:43 the target time, and Benedikt Dahl should be at least 50 seconds inside that. First one's down, a relief for those on the German scopes. He's not hanging around. Whoa, a little bit low left with number 5. No. And I wonder whether the coaches will already be sending messages out, Mike, take that last shot easy.
I think so, and I think Mark Kirchner scoping there, he will be radioing right now. I saw 3 of those shots of Benedikt Dahl very low. The next time after 4 kilometres he will be shooting stand, but they will inform on where the fall of those shots landed. And I think he should adjust up 2 clicks.
Well, here is the man who is trying to make it 3 world titles in a row. He's trying to make it 4 major titles in a row, because of course he is the Olympic champion as well as the double world champion. He is underway. Gold medal number 4 is up for the taking for Martin Fourcade. The only man to have totally dominated his championships is Ole Einar Bjorndalen. He did it back in 2002 at the Olympic Games in Salt Lake City, where he won all 4 medals. But in the modern era, Mike, of course, there are 6 golds you can take.
It's a different era, and you know, Bjorndalen, I know he's got 42 medals at World Championships. Had there been the 6 events way back when he started, he'd have about 55, 60, I'm sure by now. What a disappointing start. Zingerle there has to be so disappointed with Lukas Hofer. His ski speed's excellent coming in, only 4 seconds off, but you cannot afford to miss 2.
And just a rough estimate, but each missed shot, obviously a minute, that's roughly 400 metres added to your distance.
That's huge, huge punishment. You can afford to miss 1 if you're Tarjei Bo or Lukas Hofer. you can only afford to miss one if you still want to podium.
Golda starting for Switzerland. Sakizaki starting 30 seconds in front of him. Martin Fourcade a full minute in front of him. I'm not sure he'll want splits off Martin Fourcade. You generally want some positive news from your coach. Latvia's Robert Slotins.
Well, Slotins, he missed, what, 7 targets in this race last year at the World Champs. If he misses 2, I think he's got a strong chance of a top 40. Top 30 possible. Johannes Tinges Boer, and I liked the interview earlier where he seemed very calm. He's not going to do his usual impulsive attacking. He's going to control this race, and I hope he can hit 19, and that really stands him in good stead for a gold medal.
His brother, of course, already out on the tracks, and those two will certainly track each other's progress. They're a good pair, aren't they, Mike? There's no doubt that they benefit from each other's company while they're on the tour. We were having a chat yesterday how things have changed over the years, but in so many teams there doesn't seem to be that team spirit that lifts individuals when things aren't going quite so well.
It's strange, nor even the team discipline. Timing's one thing, individuals coming and going when they want. You know, team unity is about the timings and working together as a team. And there seems to be a little bit of that lost in the more modern era.
Is that offending your military background?
Team building background. Well,
nice shooting so far from Landertinger. Excellent start, and certainly between himself and Simon Eder, the Austrians have a really good chance of getting themselves on the podium today. They're running out of races. Just the men's and the women's mass start. I can't see them getting a medal in the women's. The top women too strong at the moment, but Landertinger and Eder both ski fast enough to win this race today. Simon Fourcade, the older of the two brothers.
That was touching the edge at 10 o'clock, the first shot. Oh, and that's exactly where it's missed. He needs to adjust down and 2 right. 2 down, 2 right would be perfect.
So, one mistake, and is that going to cost him his chance? Simon Fourcade, 4th last year in Kontiolahti. He hit the perfect 20 on that occasion.
Incredibly, he's had 3 times 4th position in this race, and one of them was less than a second off the podium. He's had so many close runs in this event.
And how many times has his brother pushed him off the podium? It must be tough. Now, here's a former champion, and we have 5 former individual champions racing today. Fack is one of them. Svensson, of course, you know about Bjorndalen, Martin Fourcade also. And the other one that might surprise you, of course, from the Czech Republic, Roman Dostal, way back in 2005 in Hogfilzen, Austria. Now, Mickey Schlesinger, furious at the end of the pursuit race, and we didn't know what the reason was. Had a chat with him the day after the race, and he did fall, but he felt it wasn't his fault. He was actually taken out by Semenov. Schlesinger, though, was overtaking on the inside of a corner. So I think it's debatable.
But yeah, no, he was so frustrated when he crossed the line.
It cost him 4th or 5th place, and he finished down in 12th in the end.
And Schlesinger, if we go back to, what was it, 2007, when he missed 2 targets but put himself on the podium, 3rd place in this race.
Well, the fastest out on the track, still at 2.5, is Tarjei Bo, 5:58 through to that stage. That's incredibly quick, Mike. Sub 6 seconds for 2.5 kilometres, most of which is uphill.
You can see the terrain round here. It's yes, there's some easy sections. Every time you climb up, you have to come down, but a huge amount of climbing today.
Yeah, and the skiing doesn't get any easier when you get away from the stadium, as we discovered this morning. The other factor is the fog can be so thick. We've come across more than one athlete who is completely lost out in the woods, absolutely no idea where they're going, and one in particular, a certain amount of panic trying to get back in time for a team meeting. Martin Fourcade, 11.7 inside after 2.5 kilometres. That's staggering.
you know, he's setting his stall out really early. That's a huge amount of time to take out a Tariabo.
Now, as we watch Krishma, Mike, you were saying at breakfast this morning that what impresses you about Fourcade is the fact that he can change his tactics and be successful. Not always, but the majority of the time he's successful. So he looks at the race, looks at the conditions, looks at the opposition, and then decides how he's going to run it. What's he doing today? 11 seconds after 2K.
Do you know, I think he's such a wise athlete. He's got the ability to play around a little. I think he's going to sting everyone with a phenomenal pace, you know, let's say for the first half. Break the spirits maybe a little, and then he'll back off a little. He's got a strategy every day, and often against the other athletes.
Now, a really big day for Simon Eder. Will he just slow that shooting down a fraction? The quickest shot in the game for the last 5 seasons. But it's not really been working for him over the last 3 or 4 weeks. But Simon Eder starts well, 5 down, 9:38 the quickest time from Benedict Doll. Don't worry too much about that. If he's within 7 or 8 seconds, Eder is in with a shout. If he finishes in the top 2 today, he takes the crystal globe, or he's got to finish within 9 points of Martin Fourcade. If Fourcade picks up the full 60, Eder has to finish second to take his first crystal globe. And that would stop Fourcade winning everything this season. Iliev. It's a good shot, but already slightly off the mark. Just looking at his time, going through 2.5.
Iliev and his teammate Anev, they've had their ups and downs this season, but generally very good shots on the biggest day, the individual day, when it's 1 minute at stake on each target missed. Tariabo, he broke his routine earlier in the prone with that last shot very slow. Now he's back to his normal routine. That was half hit at 12 o'clock. That was lucky at 11 o'clock. But they all went down. Egil Hjelland, well, he's going to be happier there. That was Tariabo back to his normal routine. He didn't overthink, overtry, and often when you overtry, it puts tension through your body and you miss targets.
Don't forget, only 1 title has been won in this event with a clear shoot in the last 10 championships. That takes us all the way back to 2003. And so, with just 1 missed target at the moment, Tariabo has the right to feel he's got a chance. But if Fourcade shoots as quick and as accurately as he's been skiing.
Can you believe, Fourcade has taken 16 seconds out of anybody prior to the range in 4Ks. And he buys himself relaxing time on the range, recovers a little longer.
He agreed, came to a deal with the King that he'd see him again on Saturday. He might be up those steps on Thursday. That is the perfect start. Look at that, 9:38, the fastest time from Doll. It's going to be beaten by at least 10 seconds. So, as usual, Mike, building time out on the tracks. He throws away 5 of it in preparation for the prone shoot to make sure the targets go down.
Isn't it wonderful to have the ability to buy yourself those extra 5 seconds? It settles you, you don't panic, and what a fantastic strategy.
Now, a lot of people, Eder actually saying he was racing for second today, assuming that Fourcade was going to win. But Fourcade's winning margins are not massive. 12 seconds, 16 seconds, 20 seconds. That surely can be beaten. And Svensson is a man who could do just that.
I agree. Svensson seems to have got won his mindset back, and I think a lot of that was from his pursuit competition, 3 days ago.
17th to 3rd. It was a tremendous run from Svensson, and you could see what it meant when he crossed the line. What about the Americans? Nordgren, Burke, Bailey, and of course Doherty.
Nordgren shot so well in the sprint competition, hit all 10 targets, but that was a huge miss. His first shot, pulse is still at 167 on the last shot.
Yeah, just wondering whether he let that one go by mistake. It's possible.
I think so. The miss margin was so big that it was absolutely not in his sights when that trigger was snatched. Shouldn't have been snatched, but when that trigger was pulled.
I think you were right first time.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Snatch it to the left.
So, Johannes Tinger spoke, and we'll try and get you an update on his ski time coming into the range. He's certainly up in the top 3.
He's 1/10 of a second slower than his brother, which is second place.
And 15 slower than Martin Fourcade. which means that he's going to have to outshoot Fourcade probably by 2 targets
This
to win.
A very much calmer Johannes Tingesbo. Normally he's impulsive, he's attacking, taking all the tension out of his fingers, his legs, his hips. Well, that's a great start.
Yeah, really good start. And Benedict Dole's 9:38. He might just get inside that. I think he will by a couple of seconds. First place remains with the Frenchman Martin Fourcade, and Johannes Tingesbo, who does not favour the individual. This is his worst discipline. 12.5 down on the race leader. Gains 2.5 seconds on Fourcade on that prone shoot alone. So how crucial is that going to be come the end of today? Here comes Dominik Landertinger back in for his second shoot.
I'm just thinking about the Austrians, and they've got some good history here. I mentioned Alfred Eder in 1986 when the World Champs were here. You go back to the year 2000, the Austrians took gold and silver in this event. Rottmann first, Gredler second, with good shooting.
Yeah, 19 for Rottmann, 18 for Gredler. Third place on that day going to Frank Luck of Germany. Rico Gross, another brilliant athlete when it came to the individual. Let's see what Landertinger can do. Conditions for shooting as good as they've been all week. That's a good start.
Well, it's a great start for the Austrians. Gussweiner there, that's got to be positive when he sends that message around the track. So far so good, 100%. Just thinking back when the World Champs were here, year 2000, only 2 athletes in the field of 110 shot the perfect score. Oh, one of them sitting beside you, Patrick.
I was thinking you had a good memory for a moment. Actually, the average number of athletes to go clear, Mike, is usually 2 or 3, not much more than that. And with a field of 99 today, we can expect 2 or 3% of them to shoot the perfect score. But the conditions are very, very good.
They are, but you get the fatigue as well as the race goes on. Most races are around 35 minutes. This is going to be 50 minutes today.
Schlesinger, that is the worst possible start for him. Wow, his heart will have sunk. Now, extra concentration. You can almost see it in that right eye. Why didn't he have that on the first shot?
He put one huge breath in between. Andre Rebar, he knows how painful that is.
Well, I think he also knows that's the possible goal thrown away, and he had a lot of faith in Schlesinger, who's actually skiing as fast as he has done at any stage of the season. So particularly disappointing. Simon Schempp, 25 seconds outside at 2.5k.
That is that's shocking. I mean, it's unusual, and he will be troubled with that information. He's getting it now.
I don't think he'll get that information. You would not pass that on. But we haven't been convinced by Schempp's form at any stage of these championships, Mike. I know he did okay in the sprint, and he had a good run in the mixed relay, but he's not shooting as well, and he's not skiing as well as he did in the first phase of the season. Landertinger is a man to watch at the moment, and starting before Martin Fourcade, he might just be able to put a little bit of pressure on the French champion. Andrei Rastoguyev's. Wow, he's certainly improved his shooting, Mike. He's a rapid skier. The early part of his career, he could miss 4 or 5 at IBU Cup level and still finish in the top 3. So we've always been aware of his skiing skills. But I just get the feeling the last month, maybe 6 weeks, certainly since Christmas, he stepped that level of shooting up. And maybe it's just a change in mindset, a change in approach to the race.
It has, without a doubt, his ski speed's still there. He's only 9 seconds off Martin Fourcade coming into the range, so I hope you're right. The mindset does seem to be different. He is hitting more targets.
Well, that puts him into second place, incidentally, as we watch Andy Birnbacher. First race for Birnbacher at these championships, 34 years old now. May not see him at too many more. Rastiguyev's. Can he clear 5? Latvia's best chance, Latvia's only chance.
They have had medal winners in the past. 2001, Ilmars Britches taking bronze medal at that time in Pokljuka.
Well, it's a shame we haven't got a close-up on his second target to see exactly where it went. Looked calm enough, Mike. It didn't look like your typical snatch.
It would certainly look calm. Kretschmar has impressed me so much, the way he's improved his shooting this year. Last year he was around 76% on both. This year it's way up into the 80s. Beautiful.
Long hold on the final shot, and a little bit of a mess of getting the rifle back onto his back. Now, this is a big moment. Simon Eder is really under pressure. Have a look at the trigger finger. Little delay, but it's gone down. So both Landertinger and Eder have cleared the first 10 targets. Well, that is great news for the Austrians. Martin Fourcade, remember, started 23, some 2.5 minutes behind Simon Eder. We'll let you know what Fourcade's time is coming into the range for the second shoot, and give you some idea of what he's got to do to maintain the lead. We know Simon Schemp was 25 seconds behind at 2.5K.
Well, Fourcade coming into the range soon. He's got 20 seconds lead on Benedict Tall coming into the range.
Well, Schemp, he doesn't like the wind, but there is no wind to blame today.
Well, I thought the interview earlier was interesting. Mickey Grice, who's won this Olympic title in this race, asking him, you know, what's happened to your prone shoot? That's the last question you want publicly going out there is, oh, you used to be good in prone, but you're not so good now, and that's got to affect him. And he's missed again there in the prone.
But I was even more surprised by the answer. I've lost my confidence. I have no security, he said.
That's incredible. Incredible. You've got to, yes, it goes up and down, but you can build it back in an instant. Some days we see top athletes having a bad day. They put it right the next day.
Now, an adjustment on the vertical, 2 clicks clockwise.
Well, that's sights down. By my reckoning, the light is going down, and I would certainly advise sights down in that situation. It's 4 o'clock local time.
Fourcade, top right-hand corner. The crowd will be trying to watch both sets of targets here, knowing that Tarier-Boe has a chance of medaling, but also well aware that Martin Fourcade is the potential champion. 5 out of 5 in the prone. He's thrown one wide. Now, he has thrown one wide. The last 3 titles he's won, he has hit 19 out of 20. So it is not the end of the world for the Frenchman, but he's going to have to keep the ski pace that he set over the first 8 kilometers, because Landertinger and Eder have both gone clear in the early stages. So a real opportunity now for the Austrians. Will they take it, or will Fourcade find a way out of this little hole that he's created? Emil Hegler Svensson for Norway. First shoot, late start for him. Not quite as late as the great Uliana Bjorndalen, incidentally. He is starting number 91, and the race will not be over until he comes across the line. 2 silver medals already. Oh,
the first shot, same, very bad start to his race.
He missed one when he won in Östersund. It was way back in 2008. He was a young pup at that stage, and that was really his first big step in the world of biathlon. And he offended many by out-sprinting Uliana Bjorndalen.
Yeah, I remember, yes. He was, well, that was really his heyday, and when he really landed and said, I'm here and I'm here to stay. But what's going through his mind now, he's missed the very first shot of 20. It's cost him 1 minute in that split second. He will take a couple of kilometers to get over that and get back into his race. Leif Nordgren, great performance in the sprint race, hitting 10 out of 10, finishing 18th, but then he dropped right down to 54th, I think it was, the next day in the pursuit competition. But he's got his shooting back again today.
Checking on the pulse, 165, that's manageable.
A little lower than when he came in last time around at 175.
Lucky with that third one, high left.
Oh, beautiful.
Well, it was quick as well. Didn't give himself a lot of time to think, and that was something that was interesting in Dorothy Vera's interview. Mike just saying that she goes into automatic. Well, Vera not getting too much joy in the individual yesterday. The French getting their 4th gold medal of these championships with Marie Durant-Abert. Comfortably inside, a little bit low, but again inside, all the shots. A brilliant grouping considering that was the standing shoot. Now, Mike, considering they were all down just below the prone target, does he come up onto the target or does he drop down?
I think he was dropping down there, and so maybe just a tiny delayed reaction, but that was so fast, it was daring, and he was in his automatic mode without thinking. Best way.
And he's put himself into top spot ahead of Landertinger. He's now got to believe in himself, believe that he can continue in the same form that he started. We will see if that turns out to be the way. Number 66 is Sergei Semenov, already medalled at these championships. Looked good in the mixed relay. He looked fantastic in the sprint event. Yevgeny Garanichev.
Garanichev, his time is good. He's 17 seconds off. That's Fourcade's time, but he's well in the sharp end of the race, times-wise. He often misses one target in the 20 kilometers. Rarely shoots the perfect 20. Well, that's great news for the Russian team, and they need some great news at these championships. Rico Gross, he's medalled a good number of times. He's come 4th a good number of times. Bronze medal in 2005 in this event. Huge moment for Landertinger.
"15 out of 15, but how many did we see get to 15 yesterday, only to throw their opportunity away on the very final shoot? Certainly Landertinger won't have any negative thoughts in his mind at the moment, but he needs to think carefully about the next 8 kilometers. 4K to go before the final shoot, and then one final push for the Austrian. And I suspect if all 5 go down, his last loop will be 10-15 seconds quicker than if he misses a target. Simon Fourcade started badly with a miss on that first prone, but he has cleared the remaining 13 targets, so he goes up to 14 out of 15. It's not a good race. This is certainly his discipline, isn't it, Mike?
It really is. So often he's just missing one, sometimes he's getting them all, and last year he did hit them all, finishing 4th. He also seems to dig deeper, push harder, control his technique more efficiently, Simon Fourcade, in this event.
You know what, we've seen it ever since Ruhpolding. He tended to go too fast for the first lap. I think with the 20k, he respects the distance more than he does in a pursuit or a mass start, and therefore he takes that first lap just a little bit easier, allows him to stay in the race longer.
And yeah, but we often see that last lap in the sprint and the pursuit. He fades. I hope he can keep the strength over the last 4 kilometers.
Anton Shapulin just going through your screen, 59 he started, and so just before 4 o'clock local time. He's only been out on the tracks for some 7-8 minutes.
Scott Dixon for Britain, just a great start. His race, he's got 5 out of 5, first time in.
That's encouraging. Hit 18 out of 20, Scott, in the last individual in Ruhpolding. If he can hit 20 out of 20 today, that will change his championships from average to good. Very much.
And so many of these biathletes, they're best in the world. They've all got that potential to hit 20 out of 20. They all know how to hit 1, so they can hit 100.
Now, Vindish, probably still buzzing from that success he had in Canmore. Winning the mass start there. Fabulous race that was.
He's still got his ski speed. He's in the top bracket, well, 3 seconds off second place. Oh, massive miss that, over a centimetre, and then it affected his last shot.
So Hoffer missing 2 on the first prone, Vindish missing 2 on the first prone as well. That is disastrous.
Well, Bernbacher hasn't been raced out yet here, and he's looking so crisp, so sharp, and that's a great time.
Yeah, he won't be much more than 10, 11 seconds off the race leader.
What surprised me, when we were having lunch, 2:15 before the race started, he was still sitting there at lunch, still eating. Not mostly for a big event like this. You don't really want to eat within 3 hours of your event. I was a little surprised to see that. Pfeiffer was there as well.
Now, Simon Eder, can he match his teammate Dominik Landertinger, who has cleared the first 15? Won't be long before Landertinger's in for his final shoot. Martin Fourcade, incidentally, has missed one on his second shoot. He'll be in shortly for shoot number 3. And just looking for Fourcade's position, Mike. Can we find it before the third shoot? Just to give you some idea of how important it is that Eder hits all 5. First 2 are down. Looks relaxed, but he looks focused.
Well, Martin Fourcade is only 4 seconds.
Nice shot.
He's 4 seconds up on Eder, but he's obviously carrying that extra minute that he missed. So Martin Fourcade has picked up his ski pace.
Well, that is incredible skiing from Fourcade. Anton Shapulin, oh, another miss. It's been a miserable championships, outside the top 50 in the sprint event, and he was a man we were expecting to see challenging for medals here after his success in Antolz. And actually, ever since the races in Ruhpolding, the second week we had in Ruhpolding, Shapulin has been on the podium more often than off it, but he's not looking in that sort of form this week. Eberhardt, he's fast. Is he going to join his teammates? No. So, 9 out of 10, not bad for Eberhardt, but he doesn't match Landertinger or Eder. Now, Mike, I heard you tipping the guys in the media office. They said, who's going to win? You said, I think the Austrians are going to be on form today. What made you think that?
I looked, I think you got to look at many things. They haven't, if you haven't had success coming into this one, it settles you. It gets, you think there's nothing more to lose. And that takes pressure off. So that was one aspect I looked at.
A change of the sights for Fourcade. The pressure is back on him, having missed in the first standing shoot. But if anyone can recover from a miss, he can. He will take his time over this prone. Tarjei with his second miss of the race, now his third, so 17 out of 20. It won't be medals for Tarjei. His poor form disappears, and Martin Fourcade pushes himself back up towards the leaders. Landertinger is still going to lead on 29.38, but Fourcade, with that one penalty, is not far behind. And with 8 kilometers still to ski, you would put your money on Fourcade overtaking Landertinger if their shooting results stay the same between now and the end of the race. 11.1, and he may well have clawed that and more back by the time he comes in for his final shoot.
So he's outskied Landertinger by 49 seconds, and there's still 8 kilometers to go. He is amazing. It misses one shot, he picks up his pace. Almost unbeatable, but he has to get 5 shots in his final standing.
But what we don't know is what sort of pace Landertinger is setting. Is he on max, or is he just trying to save something for the last 4K? Svensson, a miss in the first prone.
Oh, that's beautiful.
He's not wasting time. He can't waste time. He has to take risks now, and the chances are he'll miss again. But Svensson looking impressive on that first stand. 19.25. He's over a minute outside, so you sort of sense it's not going to be a golden day for Svensson. He would settle for a medal after the form he's had all the way through the season.
You have to say he was impressive in that stand shoot. Just he locked into position, knew the rifle was steady, and just went for it.
Hard to believe he didn't get selected for the mixed relay. He will be in the men's relay, as will Johannes Tingesbo, who's coming in now for shoot number 3. How crucial is this? 29.38, the time he's after.
He's got a great time, 27.8 ahead of Landertinger, 33 ahead of Martin Fourcade.
Well, he's actually skiing a little bit faster, I think, than Martin Fourcade. Remember that Fourcade has missed, and the margin only 33. But that last loop, Mike, Landertinger was 9 seconds back at the start of it, and was 27 behind Johannes Tinges coming in. So 18 seconds gained by Johannes Tinges.
Look how careful he is today, just taking all the tension out of his fingers. Again, the hip movement, taking all the tension out of his body. Have you ever seen him shoot this careful?
He wants this. A little blink between 4 and 5, but it doesn't affect the outcome. 15 out of 15, and the atmosphere building as the Norwegians get closer and closer to a possible gold medal. They were suggesting before this race that if anyone was going to beat Fourcade, it would be someone from the Norwegian team, and they've got 4 potential winners in the two bows. Svensson, of course, and Ole-Einar Bjorndalen, who starts number 91, and he's yet to get out on the tracks. They're still starting here in Oslo.
Oh, this was spectacular. This was so good, and he has never shot really as slow as that from stopping skiing to starting again.
Yeah, that last shot was well within the 9 ring, down at about 4 o'clock. Yevgeny Granichev, is he going to do something special? How about the ski speed, Mike? He's not far off the pace.
He's up there for definite.
3rd position.
3rd is good.
Is this Russia's chance? Perhaps not. Oh, how quickly things change. It's a cruel sport. Rico Gross.
Rico must be under a lot of pressure. They brought him in to lift this team. I think he has lifted their shooting, and we've seen flutters of great results within the season, but they haven't put anything together here, and it's so popular in Russia, he'll be under pressure.
Well, he's got 2, what did he win? He was bronze in 03, bronze again in 05.
Well, Landertinger's got 1 minute ahead of Simon Fourcade into range.
This is perhaps the most important shoot of his season, if not of his career. Harry would love to add to his tally of titles. 19 out of 19. This is the tough one. Down it goes, and Dominik Landertinger is almost assured a medal of some colour. Big smile on the Austrian team's faces, and so there should be. Oh, well, I told you he'd be quick out of the blocks if he hit all 20.
He nearly didn't make that corner, did he? Now he can unleash, he can let all his energy out.
Yeah, but he's got to be careful, Mike. It's a 4-kilometre loop. The first half is brutally hard. If he attacks it too much, he'll lose more time on the second half of the loop than he gains on the first half. We've seen that so many times, and this being the toughest individual course on the world circuit, I think he's just got to be a little bit careful. Just contain himself a fraction.
I couldn't agree more, and you know, when you've gone into that almost 40 minutes of racing, the fatigue has built up, the total climb in this race, we mentioned, it's huge.
How ironic would it be if Landertinger stopped Simon Eder winning the individual Crystal Globe for the year with his success? We'll see. That's a possibility. Eder is yet to hit the last 5. Here we go with Ole-Einar Bjorndalen, 2 silver medals. He says the pressure is off, but he's as focused as ever. He's coming to the end of his career, and it's been an astonishing career. 42 years old, 42 championship medals to his name, world championship medals to his name. That doesn't include the Olympic success he's had. What can he do today? 20 Ks, is it too far? Is it too steep?
I think it's fine. The interesting thing, he will have had the first option on which group he wanted to go in, group 1, 2, 3 or 4. And I think the wise old owl is now 4:15 local time, temperatures dropping, and I think that he thinks the tracks are going to get faster, and that's why he's starting so late.
What did you make of the tracks this morning? That it was slightly glazed, which makes the skiing hard, but it was a sort of damp glaze, wasn't it? It wasn't quick.
It was compacted, difficult to balance on. You need that beautiful, easy balance which Bjorndalen has. It wasn't easy skiing.
Yeah, you've got to get a pair of skis with exactly the right camber, the right strength of bow, that means the ski tracks nice and straight. If you have a soft pair like you had this morning, Mike,
terrible.
It's like skiing on a tea tray.
It was. You bind, your foot goes down, and my skis were for soft conditions, not hard packed. What a difference that makes. Benedikt Dahl in the end missing 3. It was a good start, then it just 1 shot missed each time.
Eder and Martin Fourcade coming round the back of the hill, approaching the range for their final shoot as we watch Benedikt Dahl on his final drive for home. Now, Andres Birnbacher, shoot number 3. Johannes Tingesbo with the fastest time after 3 shoots of 27.25. Landertinger in second, 27.8 behind. Jakob Fack, 33 in third place. Great performance by Jakob Fack so far. Remember, he was the champion back in 2012. This is looking good. Birnbacher, 5th place after the second shoot. He's dropping down the order, and bitter disappointment on the face of Mark Kirchner. Well, that would have raised the spirits of the German team had Birnbacher gone clear, but it's not happened. Now, left-handed, left-eyed, should we say, for Simon Eder. The fastest shot on the tour. Not the best shot, not in terms of accuracy this year, but he is spectacular. He will not be thinking too much. 3 down. 4 down, 1 to go. Can he match his teammate? He can! And Simon Eder right in the money, and he is going to get himself, surely that's got to be good enough for the Crystal Globe. Remember, he had to finish second today to be assured of taking the individual Crystal Globe, and that assuming that Martin Fourcade beat him. Well, Fourcade is yet to come in for the final shoot. He will know what he's got to do. Eder only 6 seconds to play with. He had a much bigger margin than that after the third shoot, Mike. So I'm now starting to think, has Eder pushed a little bit too hard too early, or has he got something left to give?
Well, he hasn't had the best ski speeds here. He's a little off form from his best form of the season. He's dropped some 0.5%. Surely hitting those 20 can lift some energy back into his legs, into his mind. Well, that's a pity from Iliev, having only missed 1 so far. He's missed his second on the last shoot. Well, the 2 Austrians, how about that? They both hit 20 out of 20, Landertinger and Eder.
Fantastic. And what were their odds this morning as we watched Martin Fourcade, who has already missed 1, but the ski time is good, 39.34. Well, he can certainly match that, Mike. I don't think Eder is safe.
Eder definitely not safe.
Fourcade cannot afford a miss, though. Can he make it 4 championship titles in a row? He could well do. 19 out of 20, which won him the title in 2013. 19 out of 20, which won him the title in 2014. And 19 won him the title in 2015 as well. And he's got 19 today. So Martin Fourcade is on the chase. And I just wonder whether the 2 Austrians are going to be pushed down into second and third. But don't forget, Johannes Tingesbo is still out there. And Johannes Tinges was some 20 seconds quicker than Martin Fourcade when we last saw him out on the tracks. So wow. Norway still have a chance.
Well, what about Martin Fourcade? He's amazing. So he's got 1 minute added onto his time from that second shoot, and he's only 0.3 of a second. So he's way faster than the 2 Austrian lads who are in first and third at the moment.
So you'd think that he can take another 15 to 20 seconds off Simon Eder on the last lap.
I think so. I think so. Now, Eder will have that information now that he's only got a lead of 0.3 of a second, and the bad news is Fourcade, but he'll have to dig very, very deep now and push the hardest in his whole career, if that's possible.
Well, lots can happen on the last loop, but there's no doubt that Fourcade, having already taken 3 golds, is hungry for more. He said he came here wanting at least 1 title. He's got himself 3 already and trying to make it 4 today. The Austrians have put up an incredible fight. Here's Simon Fourcade. He looks fresh enough in the closing stages. 18 hits out of 20, not a bad record, but with his ski speed, he needed the perfect shoot to challenge.
He's looking very, very strong. It's always his last loop that's his weakest, but I think he's got something special today. Well, Fourcade is just going to go into that turbo extra drive that he has, I think, now, knowing that he has to really push it to get a good advantage on everybody.
Well, keeping an eye out for Johannes Tingesbo. Here he is, down towards the range for the final time.
Quite an easy, actually, an easy entry to this range. If you pace it properly, you get your pulse down a little.
Certainly, if we go back to the third shoot, Mike, he is the only other man who can challenge the race leader. I can't see any other later starters. Birnbacher, we know, has now missed. He had a chance of joining the leaders. If he ever needed 5 consecutive hits, it is now. Johannes Tinges with a chance of bringing the host nation their second gold. 1 miss, And he's still on the podium. Oh, he's thrown the first one wide. It wobbled. It wobbled. An electric target may well have gone down, but not the mechanical one. 4 out of 5, and now he's got to ski himself into the podium positions. Fourcade looks as though he's been handed victory yet again.
Oh, it's amazing, amazing. Poor old Johannes Tingers. Could he have settled a little longer? He'll relive this many times. He'll probably think he should have.
Out he comes, and he looks over to his right to see exactly where he is, and he's lying in 4th position at the moment. He's got an awful lot to make up on the Austrians, Mike. I'm just wondering what Johannes Tingis did on that last lap. It looks to me as though he must have taken a fall.
He's lost a huge amount of time in that last, or is it just fatigue from the pressure of these races here at the World Champs?
Well, I wondered whether he was just taking it easy. So with the 4 chutes completed, the leading 3 skiers are only 6.4 seconds apart. Simon Eder leading on 39.34. Martin Fourcade just 1/3 of a second behind him. And Dominik Landertinger in 3rd, 6.4 back. It won't be long before Dominik Landertinger finishes. He's only got some 350 metres to go. It's got to be a phenomenal burst if he's going to overtake his teammate and, of course, challenge the Frenchman Fourcade. But I'm not sure either of those are going to be possible today.
Well, this is Landertinger definitely digging as deep as he ever has done in any race. He knows the importance of this last 4 kilometres.
He took the silver medal in the sprint in Sochi in the Olympics in 2014. He took the gold in Pyeongchang way back in 2009 in the mass start. He may well add to his medal tally here, but is it going to be gold, silver or bronze? Landertinger, the first really competitive athlete to post a time, and it's just under that 50-minute mark, 49.19, 2 minutes 28, quicker than Benedict Doll. It's a fabulous effort, but I'm not sure it's quite enough. Now is Bjorndalen going to keep this race alive? Here he comes for his first shoot. He's had 1 good individual this year and 1 appalling one. He won, of course, in Östersund, the very first race of the season, hitting 20 out of 20. He knows he needs 20 to stand any chance. Good long look down the range. The crowd response will tell you what's happening with the targets. That's it, game over. Jakub Fak in for Slovenia. Fak's had a very good day so far. Well, there's just that 1 miss on the last shoot, but he finishes off well, so it's going to be a good top 10. He'll be a bit disappointed that the pursuit doesn't follow the individual.
Well, he did put it together so well in the pursuit, hitting 20 out of 20, moving up from what, 39th to 5th in that region.
Fak is one of those athletes that produces his best at the major championships. Landertinger, 13th in the World Cup standings. He'll be getting closer and closer to the top 10, and if he can keep this sort of form going, he'll certainly be in the top 10, and all the positions in the World Cup actually quite important in terms of a team's finances.
Very much. Well, last reading, Martin Fourcade had 4.9 seconds ahead of Landertinger, and Eder seems to be fading on the track.
Well, Eder has lost 8 seconds to Dominik Landertinger, and I think that means that the scenario we suggested might happen, Mike, is going to happen, because if Landertinger finishes ahead of Eder and Fourcade wins, the Crystal Globe goes to Martin Fourcade, and that will mean he gets a clean sweep for the season. The sprint, the pursuit, the mass start, and the individuals.
But remember how fast Fourcade started. I think he's on the edge at the moment.
What has Landertinger managed to pull out of the bag on that last loop? The margin between Landertinger and Eder, Mike, Fourcade and Landertinger coming out of the last shoot actually has been reversed. Landertinger looks to be quicker on the tracks than Fourcade.
Quite interesting, and the way Landertinger finished, maybe, just maybe, Martin will be threatened.
500 metres to go, and Eder has been pushed down into 2nd place. I'm not sure he's going to be able to reverse that on this final stage.
Now, this is a man on his limit. He can't find much more pace in this next, 600 metres.
Well, it's been a tremendous effort. There can't be many men who finish in the top 3 of an individual in the last race of the season, having started with the red bib and lose it. But it looks as though that may well be the way things turn out. Andres Birnbacher, 1 miss already. How's the ski speed? 40.33 on the clock. He's already a minute outside Simon Eder.
Well, Birnbacher had his first ever win here. It was a sprint competition, 2012. That was magnificent. Well, he's getting all the advice, and Martin Fourcade is absolutely picking the pace up now. He knows how close this is.
4.3 inside, 4.3. He's holding the margin versus Landertinger, who is already in the finish. And Fourcade, of course, with the advantage of starting second. If Eder had managed to keep the pace he set on the first 3 laps, then he would be taking the lead. But he's not going to match the 49.19 from Dominik Landertinger. Austria go 1 and 2 for now, with Simon Fourcade in 3rd place. And guess where Fourcade's going to finish again? Down in 4th. Now, Simon Schempp, really slow start to his race. 41.09 on the clock. He's going to be about 2 minutes behind. The Germans will not only be concerned for this performance, but they'll be a little concerned about the men's relay. Because Simon Schempp, generally, their anchor man, needs to be on better form than that. Krijma with 20 out of 20. That's a tremendous race. It's a shame the other Czechs didn't manage to clear all the targets. Here comes Johannes Tingesbo. Has he managed to do anything? No, he's pushed himself up into 4th place, but that 1 missed shot has cost him. It has cost him a lot. He would have had a lead of 10 seconds. 2 seconds in it, says the French coach, as Martin Fourcade drives for the line. Round the final corner. No telemark, I suggest, over the last little hump. It's all about fractions of a second here. And 49.19 is doable. It's very doable. Once again, Martin Fourcade has found something just a little bit extra in the last kilometre and a half, and he's going to be comfortably inside Landertinger's time. I think he's made it title number 4 out of the last 4 major championships. 3 worlds, 1 Olympics. It is an astonishing performance, and guess who he's pushed off the top 3? His brother Simon.
Same as last year. Simon finished 4th, and the younger brother pushed him off the podium.
Deja vu.
But I think we are without doubt looking at the best biathlete. I know Bjørndalen is just now a legend, without a doubt, but this man is so special for Fourcade. Although saying that, Bjørndalen at his best was out skiing everybody by 1:30 over 20 kilometres, but didn't quite have the shooting that Martin Fourcade has.
He had to fight for that one, Mike. He really had to fight for that one. Landertinger put in a tremendous last lap. Well, there are the standings at the moment. It is not over yet. Remember, Bjørndalen starting late, although he has missed on his first prone. We've got Alexei Volkov, who we'll try and keep an eye on. He started number 96, but the fact that we haven't seen him generally misses, he's not threatening the leaders. Martin Fourcade, a miss early on the first stand, but he made sure of the last 10 targets. And as usual, he saved something for the last lap. That is where he's done the damage today. Brilliant. And you have to remember, he's over a minute quicker than Landertinger over the 20 kilometres.
Outstanding, mentally, physically. He's physically tired. We saw him having to dig deeper than ever, really, in that last lap. And I think that's partly because of the way he punished himself on the first lap. That was his strategy, and he knows how to do it best. It did cost him lack of pace on the final lap, but luckily for him, he had 5 seconds.
So, could well be 4 out of 4 for Fourcade, Mike. Is the magic 6 still on?
I think so. The French team are so strong in the relay. The mass start, he can do anything, play with the pace. He's got the fastest ski time. It's not impossible.
Svensson to match Johannes Tingesbo's shooting record. No. Again, it's rapid shooting from Svensson. And what a shame, because that would have been a good performance. We'll just pick up on his time as he comes out, but you can see from his body language, he knows 2 misses is one too many, certainly, probably two too many in terms of getting onto the podium. Here comes Johannes Tingest in 4th place. Last time we saw him, Krishmar there on 50.30. Simon Fourcade already pushed down into 5th place on 51.32. And 50.30 is certainly going to be beaten.
I think this could well be Johannes with his 3rd, 4th position at these championships.
Yeah.
And he'll remain that way.
4th in the sprint, 4th in the pursuit, 4th in the individual. It's about time there were 5 medals at every race in the majors.
And he'll be looking at that. If he just got that first shot of the last 5, he would have had that gold medal by 3 seconds.
Mass start left. What a race that is going to be. Now, Savitsky, Kazakhstan, not fast enough to win, but certainly fast enough to make the top 10 if they all go down. Drop that very low, a good 1.5 inches outside the standing ring. Scott Gow, we haven't seen too much of the Canadians today. Mike,
his time is excellent.
Yeah.
I know he's had 15 out of 50. I thought Brendan Green would shoot well today, as well as Nathan Smith.
but he's done exactly the same as Savitsky, missing shot number 19 and 20.
But that, it's so much in the mind, you know, you think you're almost there, you don't want to miss, and you tighten up, but the fear overrides any thinking, and that's what happened there. Well, spectators have gone a little quiet, realizing that it's really unlikely for a Norwegian victory. Well, definitely unlikely, but even a medal.
Bjorndalen down for shoot number 2. And remember, as you can see, he's missed on the first prone, so really requires the next 15 targets to fall. But just looking at the ski speed, Mike, this actually isn't bad at all. It's competitive.
It's excellent. He is bringing some magic once again to the game.
Remember, he's got to outski the 2 Austrians, who both shot clear, so he's got to take a minute out of Landertinger. That's not going to be easy. Well, that's the first 5. 10 more to go. Bjorndalen getting the crowd back on their feet. I know our piece before the start of this race, Mike, was all about Martin Fourcade, but Bjorndalen really is the other big story, isn't it? 42, 2 silver medals. Having come out of retirement after Sochi, he was persuaded to continue racing until these home championships, and to come away with 2 silvers is more than just about anyone, perhaps everyone except for Bjorndalen, who would have believed it was possible.
That's so true. And at the press conference, he was alluding to the fact that the second place for him was like gold, given that the amazing Martin Fourcade was sitting beside him in first place. Fourcade just so difficult to beat, almost impossible, and maybe impossible to beat throughout those whole championships. Jakob Falk 140 behind at the finish. Take that 1 miss away, and he'd have still been 40 seconds off that lead time in 4th place. Still a good performance from Falk, who's had a very poor start to his season, but great to see him back at the top of his game. And have certainly the potential for a top 6, top 5 on getting these 5 targets. The wind really having no influence today in the pro nor the stand. The flags are just lying totally still. Excellent.
Lowell Bailey of USA down in 19th place after the third shoot. He's gone 0-1-0. Nordgren has gone 0-1-0 as well. He's in 21st. Tim Burke doing even better, 0-1-0, exactly the same score. So the top three Americans all hitting identical target scores. And Tim Burke, incidentally, 135 behind. He started number 57, so it won't be long before he comes in for his final shoot. And if he can clear all five, then he could be going up into the top 10. Certainly, here he is. Standing shoot is the issue. Very, very high percentages in the prone this season. Now, as we watch him, Mike, what do you think the issue is?
It's possibly a technical issue, but also as the race goes on, we seem to see this happening more and more often. And there's evidence of it. It's just, it's a tightening of the thinking, a tightening of the body, just wanting to get it over and done with instead of relaxation.
19 out of 24, Bimbacher, and into 7th position. And that, I think, makes him the top German for the day so far. So great result. Benedikt Doll down in 9th at the moment. Fiormaillet, well, he misses one again, so 18 out of 20. Anton Shapulin, Granichev, another man we need to keep half an eye out for. We haven't seen him for a while. Granichev down in 9th after the last shoot.
I was just about to say Shapulin had an opportunity there to make top 4 and who knows, top 3, but he missed his first shot. So he missed his very first shot of 20, and then he missed his, what is it, 16th shot.
Well, look at the ski speed here for Simon Schemp. Extraordinary. I wonder whether they should have rested him today, Mike, and try to get some life back into him. He will have known that he wasn't on brilliant form. This is not the sort of performance we expect from him. 2 misses.
Both in the prone, that's prone stand, and those little errors, the mindset not quite there for getting 5 out of 5 prone.
Yeah, similar to Contiolati. Well, the record books have been rewritten here today. We can't see anyone who's going to threaten Martin Fourcade's time. You have to shoot clear to beat him. He's a minute quicker than just about everyone else out there on the tracks, 40 seconds quicker than Johannes Tingesbo. That tells you all you need to know. And he's hit 19 out of 20. Ziggy Mazet, he's getting his fair amount of success. I hope he gets a bonus with all the success that Fourcade has had. But Mike, really the incredible thing is that's 3 World Championship individual titles in succession. No one has managed that in the past, and he's got the last 4 majors because, of course, the 2014 Olympics in there as well. That has never been achieved. No one else has ever won 4 major titles in the individual.
It's unusual, and he is just... It's unusual, it's impossible.
Unique.
It's unique, I'm using the wrong words. I can't find words to describe this man. He's got everything, the pace and the accuracy.
49.13, the winning time. The winning time last time they had a World Championship here was 53.36. The tracks are different, the stadium is certainly different from back in, what was it, 99? The last championship?
2000, year 2000.
99-2000, that
yep.
season. Svensson, and started badly, finished badly. The middle of the race was excellent. 4 minutes behind. I think he's given up the ghost, hasn't he? He was a lot closer than that at the start of the final lap.
He was. Ski speed just has gone. Maybe he is thinking of the relay. Maybe he is thinking of the mass start.
Save something.
But he does look like a man on his limit there, doesn't he? The grimace. He showed good, strong ski speed in that pursuit where he went from 19th to 3rd.
Nothing to race for in the World Cup. Emil Hegler Svensson lying in 7th place in the overall. He should comfortably finish in the top 10 this season. So only one more crystal globe for Martin Fourcade to secure, Mike. That, of course, is the mass start.
And he'll probably take that one as well. More of it's He's had his setbacks recently, stomach problems, missing a lot of training, but it's a good performance, a very good performance.
And as we watch Moravec, who certainly started the day as a potential winner, not now.
And Moravec, he was 4th at home when the world champs went to Novo Mesto.
So Svensson will have to settle for the one bronze medal he has. He didn't make the Norwegian team in the mixed relay. That went to the two Burr brothers. And Svensson getting a bronze in the pursuit. Nothing today. That early miss, I think, probably sapping the energy out of his legs. And then another miss on the final standing shoot. 16th place at the moment, 4 minutes 11. I would suspect that he's trying to save something for the mass start and the relay. Incidentally, if you don't have a programme in front of you, the women's relay tomorrow, 4x6, that is going to be fantastic. Germany certainly the favourites, but I think the French have pushed them very, very close this year. And in terms of all the team members performing well, I think the French are slightly ahead of the Germans, who are pretty much reliant on Lara Delmar at the moment.
I think you're spot on with that. The 4 best French, it's a strong team. We know they shoot well, and in the relays you have to shoot well. You cannot afford even spare rounds.
And the next bit of action for the men will be the men's relay on Saturday. This has to be Garanichev coming in. You don't get to see this style too often. We saw it in the European Championships where he got himself 2 golds and a silver medal. And Garanichev going up into 7th. Good race. Well, a day belonging to the French yet again, their 5th gold medal of these championships. Germany have had 1, Norway have had 1. It has all been about France, and it all started with that fantastic performance in the mixed relay. And of course, as the championships go on, the Bjorndalen story may fade, Mike, as we focus on whether Martin Fourcade can make it 6 golds out of 6. The mass start, he can do it on his own. The relay, he's got to depend on his 3 teammates. Dessieux, Fillon-Maillet, they're good enough to win.
They are, they really are. They've shown that in the mixed relay, or one of them, and they've been shooting well. They've been skiing very fast in the top 10.
Well, Bjorndalen could still play his part in preventing Fourcade winning all of them, because he surely would be part of the Norwegian relay team. Been the most consistent Norwegian at these championships. He's old enough to be the dad of a few of the team members, you can certainly say.
That was brilliant. He's just in the right place. Pity about the very first time in, his first 5 shots there, missing 1. Otherwise, he'd be...
well, he'd only be 33 seconds off the pace. That would be good enough for what, top 7?
Top 5. In fact, he would be 5th if take that penalty away. So his ski speed is really good.
Yeah, sitting in 13th at the moment. If he can keep that 130 margin, he will go comfortably into the top 10. So if he hits all 5, he will finish in the top 10 again. Three individuals this season only. They won't have one in Chianti-Manzisk. Fourcade has now won 2 of them, but he had a slight blip in Östersund where he finished down in 21st position. Now, many would have given up in his position and just cruised into the finish, but he put in a strong finish in Östersund, and those few places he gained on the last lap will have made the difference between finishing 1st and 2nd in the individual World Cup.
He's always the fighter. Wiesner, what a ski speed he has, and he's getting his shooting together in every race. Oh, as soon as I said that, he's missing 2.
Now, Lowell Bailey. Can he give the Americans something to cheer about? Missed 1 in the first stand. It's not quite as neat and tidy as Simon Eder, who also shoots left-handed. But he's got the 5. He's got the 5 that he needed. And that is a fantastic performance from Bailey. 19 out of 20. and it could well be his best run of the year. Keep an eye on the clock. 39.34 is long gone. Schemp on 41.41. I think Bailey might be able to ski down Simon Schemp on the last lap. It's certainly a possibility. Anef with 19 out of 20 as well. Overall, the shooting's been good, Mike. Generally, we look at 3 or 4 to go clear. I can see, we know about Eder and Landertinger. Krishmar also shot the perfect score. So that's 3. We'll just check further down the result sheet to see if anyone else has hit the perfect score.
Dombrovski, Lithuania, he's also managed to achieve that. 4 athletes so far. I don't think we'll see many more.
Dombrovski certainly will get himself some World Cup points today. Anef likewise into 11th position, 233 down. Jean-Guillaume Beatrix and Eric Lesser both on the range at the same time. Eric Lesser,
well, Beatrix, the last of the Frenchmen. Of course, the French team having 5 athletes in the race today, with Fourcade winning last year.
Lesser, of course, the Olympic silver medalist in this discipline, beaten by Fourcade on that occasion. How does this look? 39.34 is too good. He's going to be over a minute and a half behind. Lots of work to do on the last lap, but a top 10 still possible. He could finish top German. That is a distinct possibility. At the moment, we've got Andy Birnbacher lying in 7th. Benedict Doll still there in 9th position. And Birnbacher is 2:11 off the pace of the leaders. So I think we could see a change there with Lesser when he finishes. Schipulin, similar shooting to Emil Hegler Svensson of Norway. We're going to see a little sprint into the finish. On the right-hand side is Quentin Fillon-Maillet, who won't give away to Schipulin easily. He could certainly move over to the left-hand side. But that was ridiculous, to be honest. Fillon-Maillet had no... Why did he go in the right-hand lane when he had a man on his right? Ludicrous.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, ridiculous from Fillon-Maillet. Maybe just slightly unaware that Schipulin was there. I don't think he was far enough ahead to warrant choosing that right-hand lane. Or was he trying the same trick? Who was it who outfoxed Lara Dalmar earlier on in the season in Ruhpolding in the finish?
It rings a bell, a distant bell. I can't remember. But no, that seems silly. You've got plenty visual there going in. Yes, the right lane probably the fastest. Generally, if you're in that lane first, it's your lane. I didn't quite see further back exactly what happened, but a bit unnecessary. There's plenty of room there. And you could just sense that Schipulin, he's frustrated. He wants medals here. He hasn't had any. Schipulin, that was him in 13th position. You know, only a couple of seconds forward, he would have been 12th, so he was annoyed with that situation.
Simon Dessieux across the line. I've just remembered that delayed memory thing. It was the relay in Ruhpolding where Dalmar was outwitted by the Ukrainian team. I think it was Pedrushna who was on the last leg for them. And Pedrushna on that occasion, though, had a couple of meters ahead of Dalmar, so she was entitled to choose whichever lane she wanted. On this occasion, with Schipulin versus Fillon-Maillet, I think the Frenchman actually made life difficult for himself. Number 51, Mr. Scott Dixon. Now, I wonder how he started well, Mike. Have you been tracking his shooting throughout?
I have. He started really well, hit the first 10 out of 10, then the pressure built. He missed 1 on his second prone, and then he missed 2 in the last, and you can just see an exhausted body now. And he'll be hoping that next year, when he's 22 and a lot stronger, he can be another, 3-4 minutes faster on the tracks.
Yeah, a couple of health issues, certainly over the last couple of months. That certainly slowed him down, reduced the amount of training. Do you think that's a result of overtraining, or is it just bad luck?
I think it's bad luck. Unusual to get twice the iron levels in your body. He doesn't quite have the answer to that, a virus of some kind, and then racing on top of that. So all athletes go through setbacks, and those were setbacks in this season.
Now, 84 is Freddie Lindstrom. Lindstrom, who took the bronze medal back in 2013. That was a brilliant championships in Novo Mesto. Won, of course, by Martin Fourcade, with Tim Burke in the silver medal position. It's not so long ago, Mike, that if you hit 18 out of 20 in an individual, you could think of almost certainly being in the top 10. It's not the case today.
It's not. I think, in all honesty, the perfect shooting conditions they has helped the overall good shooting. Just no wind influence whatsoever.
Granichev, incidentally, we saw a good sprint finish from Granichev. He's the only man who's come anywhere near matching Martin Fourcade for ski speed. Sergei Semenov, it's not gone his way today, having taken the bronze medal in the sprint at the beginning of these championships. 5 misses, and he's 6:14 behind. So the form that he had last week has deserted him, and now, well, he's done enough to get himself into the mass start, because all those who get good finishes here in Oslo will find themselves starting the mass start. All the medalists automatically go through for the mass start, and then at the end it's the rest who are well placed in the World Cup standings. Nathan Smith, another man who's been a little wayward with the rifle, 5 misses.
Well, he's 5:08 behind, missing 5 targets, so he's only 8 seconds off the pace. Really, it's good. Certainly for a silver and bronze medal.
Now, one of the issues with starting late, Mike, is, as you can see from the pictures, the light just starting to fade a little here in Oslo.
And Bjorn Dahlen must have been thinking, as that light faded, the tracks will be getting faster. I hope he's right, because the ski speed is looking very good. That's having missed 1. Little stumble there. It's very icy now down this section.
He needs 5 just to have a chance of finishing in the top 7. Norway will be delighted that Johannes Tingesbo is up there in the top 4.
Bjorn Dahlen winning this title. It was a very windy day then. He missed 3 and still won the title in Pyeongchang.
Well, he's done the same as Svensson, and so a mediocre race by Bjorn Dahlen's standings, and a big disappointment for the thousands that have turned out to watch him race. But my goodness, Mike, the relay on Saturday is going to be well attended, and then of course what could possibly be his last international race ever, the mass start on Sunday. We are going to have a packed house, no doubt about it, and we're going to have hundreds, if not thousands, out on the tracks surrounding this stadium just to see this man off.
Very much, and there he has missed 2, but he's still the second best Norwegian. I wonder if they'll be talking him into another 2 years leading up to Pyeongchang, the next Olympic Games. I was actually talking to a number of people this morning that said, well, it's not really being talked about, but it's being expected that he's going to be asked to continue for 2 more years.
44 at Pyeongchang.
Why not?
Is it?
Well,
I hope not. I'd love to see him, to be honest, I'd like to see him go out on a high, and Oslo so far has been a massive high for Bjorn Dahlen. He has certainly not embarrassed himself with his performances. If anything, he's embarrassed the rest of the Norwegian team by being the best Norwegian in the sprint and the pursuit. But sometimes, Mike, it's good for a great champion to retire, because then those below him in his team start to flourish. We saw that when Poiret retired. Suddenly, the whole of the French team started doing well.
There is something in that, whether it's the psychology of him retiring, but there is a bit of a gap below these top 4 Norwegians. There is a gap and a drop-off down to the next best in Norway.
Eric Lesser driving for the line. He knows that a score of 19 out of 20 is a good one. Is he anywhere near the podium? 152 off the pace at the moment. And remember, the top three, those on the podium, are only separated by 14 seconds. So really, he's looking at the very best. He could get himself up into 6th ahead of Jakub Fak of Slovenia, who's put in another good race. Nice to see Jakub coming good, Mike. He's had a dire season as we watch Lowell Bailey of USA. Is he the best of the Americans? He goes into 14th position, and with Tim Burke's demise on the final shoot, Bailey once again is USA's number 1.
14th position, it's good.
Fourcade, Landertinger, Eder are the men in the medal positions, and there's no one challenging them that we can see from the later starters. Bjorndal's miss on his final shoot has cost him a chance. He had a slim chance, I guess, but that has faded.
Eric,
sorry, Mike.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking Eric Lesser, yeah, Olympic gold, silver medalist in this event. Fourcade won that one, which we mentioned earlier. I thought Eric would go a little better today. And I wonder if sitting at lunchtime with 2 hours to go played any part. Probably not, but he's not as fast as he was in the pursuit competition, Eric. He was very strong in that competition. He was fast in the sprint competition. Sadly, a little bit off the pace today. Still a good result.
Yeah, it's a good result, but he's one of those athletes that produces the odd flash of brilliance. We saw it in Ruhpolding when he won the mass start there, and today he settles for 7th place. That is not bad at all. Koiv with 19 out of 20. One of his best races of the season. Top 25. Well, some tremendous performances, but the majority of the good performances coming from the very first group. Simon Eder started 18, Landertinger started 10, Fourcade started number 23. Brendan Green, can he finish in style? The target's more white than black.
Well, the reason these targets are so short out, these are the furthest down the range of the stand targets in lane 16, 17, and they are taking all the misses. And the side picture, absolutely not as crisp as it was at the start of the race.
So is that a good reason, if you have a late start number, to choose lanes 19, 20? Just stop 4 or 5 metres early?
I honestly think so. You certainly have to read, if you're a later number, you're anticipating there's going to be a lot of misses on lane 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 are okay normally. But that's because it gives you more recovery as you glide further into the range. And I wonder if that did affect Brendan there. Just looking at 2 British athletes racing today. Marcel Lepond, a really bad day in the range. Don't know what happened. He's been shooting better than that, but he's missed 8 in total. That's a real pity for Marcel. And he'll be the only British athlete going on to Hanty-Mansisk next week for the finals.
Still only 4 men clear, which is a good day. Last time 4 men shot clear. Actually, last year we had 4 clear. We had 4 clear in 2011. But other than that, 1s and 2s. Obviously, it depends on the conditions. And actually, Mike, with the flags lying limp by the poles all the way through the day, maybe we should have expected more than the 4 out of 99.
Definitely. There's just no influence there today whatsoever in terms of wind or weather, and you could clear sight pictures and an easy entry to the range, although the toughest 20-kilometre track. But I thought we might see 8 clears.
In terms of ski speed, Martin Fourcade exceptional, and as I said, he's taken just about a minute off everyone else. Johannes Tingesbo actually would have won if he'd gone clear, but is still 57 seconds slower than Martin Fourcade over the 20-kilometre distance. Good ski time from Simon Fourcade, not far off Johannes Tingesbo, but again a minute behind his brother. And we had a good ski time from Benedict Doll as well. Missed 3, finishes 2:33 behind. So Benedict Doll actually out skiing Johannes Tingesbo. So watch out for him in the mass start. And Mickey Schlesinger, again, Mike, 3:10 behind, having missed 3. So he's fast enough to win.
He is. He's got his form back. I feel for Scott Gow, 0-0-0. We saw him missing the 2. He was on a great ski time, and he would have been, what, 5th position taking those 2 away, but I know many can say that.
It's a big if. Martin Fourcade on top yet again.
Well, Austria love this venue. I mentioned the year 2000, when the world champs were last here. They took gold and silver then, Rotman, Gredler. And it's rare that they are on the podium. In this, the individual.
So just to support your theory that Fourcade is now the best ever biathlete we've seen, Mike, this season he's matched Bjorn Dahlen with 5 overall World Cup wins, or Bjorn Dahlen won the overall title 6 times. I think he's won it 6 times.
6 times,
so Fourcade's got to come back next year to grab that one.
Yeah.
But he has gone ahead of Bjorn Dahlen in terms of individual victories. He's now got 10 individual victories. Bjorn Dahlen sitting on 8, Svensson sitting on 8. So that is 1 count that he has that is greater than Ole Einar.
Quite amazing. Well, Ole Einar didn't get his 43rd World Championships medal today, but Fourcade's going to have to be around a long time to get 42 medals at World Champs. Although, hey, it's 6 gold, they're looking pretty good now for this this one single year. Lindstrom will be asking himself a lot of questions. He's talented, he's gifted, but it's not quite there this year.
Well, there's a good shot of the stadium with the city of Oslo in the background, the Oslo field, top right-hand corner of your screen. And nice to see a few supporters out on the tracks on one of the biggest climbs, and they'll enjoy seeing Ole Einar. Smartphones out, everyone wanting just a little glimpse, a little memory of this man who has been around for so long. Remember, he entered his first World Cup in 1993, the year that Johannes Tingesbø was born. And here he is today, again, top 2 in the Norwegian team. He's the only Norwegian to have individual medals, apart from Svensson.
Stefan Boutiot just running there. He's doing so much for the French team. He's very, very disciplined with all the athletes, doesn't have any favourites, doesn't let them off with much. And that keeps the French team very tight and yeah, controlled in a sense.
Yeah, interesting to hear Fourcade after, I think it was after the pursuit, they were saying, what are you doing now? And he said, I'll have to have a chat with the coach and see what they say. Very different in the Norwegian team, where they pretty much train themselves. Nothing wrong with that, and I think that's a benefit of having all these ski gymnasiums, sort of ski universities, where 30% of their time is spent studying physiology and all the aspects of training that you need to know about if you're going to train yourself.
Yeah, very, very much. I wonder if Ole Einar is going through any emotion now, if this is his last ever 20-kilometre race. It may well be. It probably is. I wonder what he's feeling as he's in the last minute of his last ever 20-kilometre.
He's probably thinking about the mass start right now.
He will be.
Well, next question for you, Mike. Which leg are you going to give Bjorn Dahlen in the men's relay on Saturday?
Second, I think.
That usually goes to the weakest athlete. Don't forget, he's been the best here in Oslo.
They need a good start. They need to be in it. I was thinking they need a good start. They need to continue that. You know, they need to be up with the sharp end. If you start chasing, then it will put the Johannes under pressure, or Tarje or Svensson for the last leg. It may put them under more pressure.
18 hits out of 20, so 2 minutes added to the time, and 3 minutes behind Martin Fourcade. So he's lost 2 minutes in terms of ski speed to the winner here today. The mass start is a different issue. I just can't see him meddling in the mass start, Mike, because he has to race someone else's race to stay with it rather than his own. But the relay, he could be a very, very handy player. And that Norwegian team order is going to be fascinating. Who takes the last leg? Do you give it to Svensson, who threw it away in the Olympics in 2014? Or do you give the last leg to Johannes Tingesbø? It's a risky one.
Is that Eder's first medal? Isn't it?
Yep. And
Welcome back to Oslo. Alexei Volkov of Russia faded in the early stages. We were going to keep an eye on him, but as you see, 3 misses in the first 2 shoots, and he never featured. Starting 96, he's been a lot on the IBU Cup this year. We just thought he might spring a surprise, but 4.52 behind, only missing 3. So he's way off the ski speed of today's champion, who is, of course, Martin Fourcade, who has made it 4 golds from 4 races. He has 2 more to go here at the Biathlon World Championships. Here he is. Raphael Poré having a chat to Martin, saying, incredible, you're a minute quicker than everyone. And Raf saying he's absolutely delighted. It's nice to see an ex-champion so pleased for the fortunes of a new champion. You will have got that bit. Very difficult today. He said he felt good on the skis. Yeah, he struggled a little bit on the first shoot. He was disturbed by the presence of Johannes Tingesbo. He was aware of the results of Bo's targets, so he struggled a bit with that. So this is the best period of his career so far, and he feels like it would be a good time to finish his career. Well, let's hope that that's not the case, but he's got to stay focused. He's got a lot of rivals out there on the tracks. He says there are a lot of athletes out there who want to kill him. What he means is they want to hunt him down and beat him, but he looks pretty unbeatable at the moment. And astonishing, Mike, just as you suggested, that very fast first lap. He kept it going for the first 3, built his lead of over a minute, which made up for the fact that he had missed a target, and then he was right up with the leaders coming out of the range for the last time, and at that stage there was only going to be 1 winner.
it's incredible. He's won so many 20 kilometres at World Cup and World Championships now, but so often I think he's only hit 20 out of 20 twice in the individual. So often he misses 1, and I think he attacked that first 4 kilometres to buy himself, to put the others under pressure, and to buy himself the ability to miss 1, because he so often misses just 1 target out of 20. And as always, he reads it beautifully well, put everyone else under pressure, so they were chasing his incredible early ski pace and therefore affecting their shooting. I think the Austrians were amazing today. Landertinger and Eder, the 2 best, both hitting 20 out of 20, both on the podium. Landertinger second, Eder third.
Well, there are the standings of the top 10. A brilliant day for the Austrians. Take nothing away from them, and their 2 top men both hitting the perfect 20 today. I still can't believe that Eder has got himself on the podium. He started in the red bib as the leader of the individual World Cup, and he's had it robbed off him by Martin Fourcade, who picked up the full quota of 60 points. Commiserations to Simon Eder, but it is his first championship individual medal. That will mean a huge amount to him, and he's got 16 podiums in his career, so he's a class athlete, Mike, and the bronze medal is well deserved today. Landertinger, well, he was mass start world champion back in 2009 in Pyeongchang. He got a silver, as we mentioned, in Sochi in the sprint event. Today he takes a medal in the individual, and he's going to be 38 on Sunday. That's going to be some celebration, but he'll be having to think about what condition he's going to be in for the flight to Chianti-Manzisk
for the last round of the World Cup. I bet he, for one, would be hoping that it was a little further away. Madame Fourcade, though, unbeatable, undescribable. 4 golds out of 4. Well, a nice atmosphere here around.